Check out that Golden Gate Bridge. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're out here commuting into San Francisco. This is the Golden Gate commutes. Join me in my daily commutes into the city, into the beautiful city of San Francisco. Check that out. Keep that out. Anyways, today's video topic is we're going to be talking about fake conservatives or Republicans or whatever you want to call them, right? And the reason I'm talking about this because we just had the No Kings March, right? Honestly, I thought it was a flop. I heard it was out here. Here, check that bridge out. Let me readjust the camera. Look at that. And aren't I lucky? Get to enjoy this every day. Anyway, so, yeah, the King's March was a flop. It's not cool to be a liberal anymore. I personally never thought it was cool to be a liberal. It's not, you know... Everyone's fed up with the liberals, right? Or the liberal ideology, or whatever you want to call it, right? But now it's cool to be a conservative, right? That's what's popping right now. That's what everyone wants to associate themselves. They want to call themselves that. And I'm here to tell you guys that it's all fake, right? It's all bullshit. And I know it's all bullshit because, you know, and it's bullshit because people, you know, when it comes to politics, and I try to stay away from politics, people, you know, they associate politics with their feelings. And whether you're right or left, conservative or Democrat or liberal or Republican, you know, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label yourself, right? And yeah, it's cool to be now a conservative because pretty much the Democrats and the leftists and they blew so much smoke up everyone's ass, so much fucking smoke. Everyone pretty much said that we had enough of this shit, right? But what you guys fail to understand is that a lot of these people are still diehard Democrats. They don't even know it, right? They're diehard liberals. They just adapted to the times. Perfect example. I'm gonna bring up COVID, right? Prior to COVID, you know, during, let's call it the 2016 era where Donald Trump was, you know, running for president, right? From that era up to now, right? Up to COVID, right? Everyone was a bit against the tech billionaires, the big pharma, the Bernie Bros. Specifically the Bernie Bros. And why do I bring these motherfuckers up, right? The reason I bring these motherfuckers up is because the Bernie Bros were the anti-big pharma, the anti-establishment, and as soon as COVID hit, what did these motherfuckers do? They shifted from anti-big pharma to the biggest supporters of Big Pharma and saying you were a piece of shit for not getting poked. I don't know if that makes sense. A lot of people didn't step aside and say, you know what, let's peep this out, let's see what this is all about, and let's figure this out together, figure this out on my own. No, the same liberals that were anti-Big Pharma with Bernie Bros literally shifted within months on their ideology on anti-big pharma, and now we're the biggest supporters of pharma. And if you don't get poked, you're a piece of shit, right? People seem to forget that a lot of those people shifted sides, whether they were tricked into getting the vaccine or poked, or they really believe the juice, or they, you know what I mean? Whoop. And my point is that politics is just that sun beaming. Politics is just a tool used to control people's emotions. And I know this to be a fact because COVID was a perfect example, like I mentioned earlier. And now it's cool to be a conservative. What do I mean by this? And I'll go back to COVID. A lot of the people that I know, right? They professionals too. I'm a blue collar guy, right? But I do come in contact with a lot of professionals, you know, corporate people, right? And a lot of them tend to look. Well, the people I know, right, they tend to lean towards the right, more conservative, libertarian, you know, freedom of speech, you know, freedom, all that good stuff, right? I'm not going to get into all that. But they didn't have a voice, right, which is, all right, cool, whatever. I understand you have a career, you work for this big company or for this big bank or for this big tech company. You can't really speak out. I get it. Right? But then COVID happened, and these big time conservative fucking even the big time conservative dudes that, oh yeah, Mr. Right Wing, Mr. fucking Mr. Freedom, they all got vaccinated. All of them. And their excuse was, oh, you know, we were forced, California, the city, San Francisco, the unemployment, they were, you know, they forced everyone, and technically, they did force everyone to get vaccinated, right? But it still came down to individual choice if you wanted to get vaccinated or not. I know I can count people on one hand that I personally know that didn't get vaccinated, and I'm one of them, right? Where these fucking big time conservative cucks, right? They claim to be these big time conservatives, ended up flipping. They ended up folding just like a napkin, folded real quick on some sucker shit, right? They're suckers. We may have the same views on ideology or similar views where let me live, you know, freedom of speech, all that. But you guys fold. You guys are suckers. You guys are cowards. You motherfuckers didn't want to tell your wife, and I know motherfuckers, conservatives, right? Just because they're a conservative doesn't mean they got balls, right? I know these motherfuckers. I know this motherfucker that was like, yeah, man, what was I supposed to do? You know, the wifey, I had the family, the this and that. I had to fucking, you know, I had to get the jab. And I'm looking at this motherfucker driving around, you know, his wife drives around a fucking $50,000 car. He drives around another fucking $70,000 truck. That's already $100,000 worth of fucking liabilities, the McMansion. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, yeah, that we're gonna you know, cut your livelihood. I kind of get it, but you couldn't downgrade your lifestyle. You claim to be this big fucking right wing fucking macho fucking conservative. And this is just, I'm not talking about a specific individual. I'm talking about people that I know that claim to be these conservatives and freedom fighters, and they ended up folding on some sucker shit. And now it's cool to be a conservative. And everyone seems to forget that majority of these fucking people, you know, that shifted to the right or shifted views, or just for a second they were like, you know what, I'm gonna cool off the liberals, and I'm gonna go a little bit right this time. These are the same people who put you guys in these predicaments. Well, we all put ourselves in these, right? Because I do believe in freedom of choice. And, yeah. So it's cool now to be a conservative. And I don't like to put these labels on me where I'm a conservative or a libertarian or you know, it's just, we're all individual. I like to consider myself an individual instead of lumping myself in a group where I automatically get you know, labeled, right? But that's my video. These fucking fake ass fucking libertarians, fake ass conservatives, and I know a bunch of them out here in the city, right? And I know these motherfuckers before, you know, the recent 2024 election that just passed by, you know, with Donald Trump. There's a lot of people who converted, you know, that woke up and they were like, oh shit, you know, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I can't believe I got tricked into this shit. You know, 2016, I was a big anti-Donald Trump, and those people are cool, you know. Well, not even. It's just, they woke up, they were like, oh, you know what? They done fucking blew so much smoke up my ass. It's like, all right, cool, we get it. But the ones that are being woke, but you folded, you guys been knowing about all this shit, but you guys folded, and you guys folded. A lot of people folded. I know a motherfucker. I swear to God, I know this fucking dude who said, "Oh yeah, I didn't really want to get the vaccine, but honestly, I wanted to go back to the Warrior games and I wanted to go back clubbing." Stupid, low IQ decision making when it comes to drastic life-changing choices. And these are the same people who vote. Think about it. You had I heard when I heard, and I wasn't the only one who heard this. I was from someone else when this motherfucker said this shit, and I looked at my brother. That someone else was my brother. We looked at each other, and we're like, you fucking piece of shit. You know, and this is fresh, you know, during COVID, and as he's talking to us, he's like, yeah, I wanted to go back to the events, and you know, because they didn't let people go in if you didn't have the vaccine card, and the whoop-de-woo, and then I'm just thinking to myself, these are the motherfuckers that are keeping us shut down. These are the motherfuckers that, you know, fast forward today, you know, I seen dude, right, after a few years, it's crazy. He's like, and he's telling me that he voted for Trump, and he thought he was gonna make things better, and I'm just thinking, the only reason you're voting for this guy is because it's cool to vote for this guy now. And I get it, you know, humans were just that herd mentality, and you know, whatever's in fashion, whatever's out there in the media, that's what people are going to go for. And it got to a point where the Democrat Party just blew so much smoke, or the liberals just blew so much smoke up to people's ass that they had enough. And yeah, I guess my point of this video is that don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by these undercover, I'll call them undercover fake conservatives, even you know, when they'll vote in your they'll literally vote in your slavery. Check out that Chinese flag up there. We're in San Francisco, Japantown right now. This is a Japantown neighborhood. Out here, these fucking cars right here. These are the self-driving cars. They got cameras everywhere. They're recording everything. Anyways, yeah. So now it's cool to be a liberal. I'm just yip-yapping at this point. You know, it's almost sad that we have to, that politics is this emotional, right? It's pretty much a theater, and if you don't pay close attention to what's really going on, you might be the next motherfucker jumping up and down at big anti-pharma, and 6 months later, you're jumping up and down trying to force everyone to get vaccines. The cognitive dissonance is crazy, and that's one of the reasons why I try to stay away from politics. No lie, because people literally stop talking to other people. People stop engaging in, friendships, family outings, and just over the media manipulation of other people, of those who are in charge. That's what it is. Think about it. Your inner circle is facing turmoil, right? And this is happening all over America, where liberals and conservatives or libertarian, whatever labels you throw out there, people aren't getting along just based on views. And now it's getting to the point where it's becoming a race thing, where racial tensions are boiling. And I know for a fact racial tensions are boiling, and I see it. People have, well, at least in America, Americans have had enough with the woke shit. We've had enough. And that's why it's cool to be a Republican or a conservative. But you never, and one thing we know is that trends change throughout the years, or just throughout 6 months. Trends can change. 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, and you never know. It might be cool to be a liberal 10 years from now. And I'll leave it at that. If you enjoy these podcasts, commutes with me, I'm just talking a whole bunch of shit. I see what I see in the media, or I try to make these video topics. If you have any suggestions, want to talk about certain topics, drop them down on the comments down below. We can spark up a conversation. But yeah, I kind of struggle a little bit just because I need to drive safe, pay attention to the road, make sure I don't run anyone over, make sure I stay in my lanes, make sure safety is my main priority, and yeah. Anyways, so that's today's video. Stay tuned for more video updates. Don't be a fake conservative. If you really mean it, live up to it. Anyways, that's it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.